All right. I've done this so many times. Let's hope that this is the one. Um, okay. So, hello, Professor. My name is Solomon, and today I'll be presenting on Christian worldviews, LGBTQ identity, and how these perspectives compare to social work values. I'll also connect this to the Stonewall Uprising documentary and explain why this history matters for social workers. And if I have time, a little bit of extra at the end. Um, let's go to this next slide. All right. In this section, I want to give a brief overview of how Christian worldviews shape beliefs about sexuality and gender. Many Christians rely on scripture and church teachings to understand what is considered moral or acceptable. Research shows us that people who are highly religious often hold more conservative views about homosexuality. This includes belief that sexuality should only be expressed in heterosexual marriage. For LGBTQ individuals, individuals who grow up in religious families, this can create a lot of internal conflict. They may feel pressure to hide who they are or struggle with shame because their identity does not match what they were taught. At the same time, younger Christians are becoming more and more accepting. Um, this shows that beliefs within Christianity are changing over time. Social work values take a different approach. Um, our profession is grounded in dignity, work, and respect for all people. The NASW Code of Ethics is clear that social workers cannot discriminate based on sexual orientation or gender identity, amongst some other things. We are expected to support client self-determination and provide LGBTQ affirming care. Research also shows that people who are not religious tend to have more supportive attitudes towards LGBTQ rights. This lines up with social work values because our profession focuses on inclusion, equity, and challenging oppression. As social workers, we have to understand how religion can shape a client's experience, but we also have to protect their safety and well-being. Next slide. All right. So this is the first chart. This chart shows the difference between Christian worldviews and social work values. On the Christian worldview side, identity is often seen as something created by God with fixed roles for gender and sexuality. On the social worker side, identity is self-defined and we affirm diverse expression of gender and sexuality. Christian teachings often oppose same-sex relationships, while social work views sexual orientation as a natural human variation. Christian doctrine may emphasize traditional family structures, while social work recognizes many different types of families. The biggest difference in this area of social justice, Christian worldviews may focus on moral order, while social work focuses on equity and anti-oppression. Let's go to the next slide. Wish I had a clicker. Um, so in this chart, Christian worldviews versus LGBTQ identity development. Um, this second chart compares Christian worldviews with what research tells us about LGBTQ identity development. Christian teachings may view sexual orientation as a choice or behavior, but research shows that sexual orientation is not a choice. It develops through a mix of biological, psychological, and social factors. Christian worldviews often see gender as fixed, assigned by God, like the previous section, while research shows that gender identity develops internally and may not match the sex someone was assigned at birth. LGBTQ identity development involves self-acceptance and support from others. But this process becomes harder when families are highly religious. Minority stress increase when people face rejection or stigma. And this can lead to serious mental health challenges. I know personally, um, via witnessing. Um, the Stonewall Uprising included here uh, because it shows how LGBTQ have resisted oppression. It also highlights how religious and cultural beliefs have shaped the history of discrimination. Let me go to the next slide. Um, And this is the reflection on Stonewall. Um, the Stonewall Uprising documentary shows what life was like for LGBTQ people before the modern right movement. Police raids, harassment, and criminalization were common. Stonewall was a turning point where people finally fought back against the injustice that they were facing. From a Christian worldview perspective, this history raises questions about how religious beliefs have contributed to stigma and discrimination. Many religious institutions support laws that harmed LGBTQ people. From a social work perspective, Stonewall represents the values of dignity, justice, and advocacy. It reminds us that our role is to challenge oppression and support marginalized communities. It also shows why LGBTQ affirming practice is necessary, especially for clients who come from religious backgrounds. And my last slide is just my references. Um, and a quick little thing. I had a cousin who took his own life because of being brought up in a very super religious household. My auntie is a no nonsense Bible thumping, person who kind of forgot what it was like to be young. And she herself had been in a same sex relationship when she was younger. She herself had looked into Wiccan and other religions. And then when she was older, she kind of just became a super devout Christian. And so my younger cousin, he saw his older sister get cast out of the family because she was looking into Wiccan. And my auntie was just like, no nonsense. So she completely axed her out of the family. She wasn't allowed to talk to any of her siblings or anything. And he felt trapped about seeing how his mom, you know, kind of just shunned his older sister, who he revered a lot, and he felt trapped and he took his own life. Um, we see this all too often. And personally, um, this this section of everything has kind of been a not like a struggle, but just I personally just don't um I wouldn't say vibe with. I just don't quite understand and trans. And this is helping me, I guess, but I'm more comfortable with just gay and lesbian. Personally, I just personally don't get it. But I definitely respect everybody. Um, yeah. So that's my own little extra thing. And this documentary was great. I watched it and I thought it was awesome. I was just going through and looking at the resources before I even looked at the assignment that we had to do. And I thought it was awesome. I watched the documentary before I even thoroughly looked at the assignment, to be honest. And I thought it was like a really, really good documentary. Um, the whole idea that there was about everybody was coming together, not just yeah, it was to fight against oppression, but in 1969 there was so much stuff going on, you know, and with the recent years we had JFK, MLK, Malcolm X, um, uh, so many people that had just been taken and people that people had looked up to, and people were tired and they were just exhausted of all this being pushed down and pushed out and told that they weren't important. So then when somebody fought against the establishment, when they fought against the government, when they fought against the police, and people saw that they actually had a stronghold, that they actually could do something, and it was like evident it's happening now, everybody came. Hispanics came, blacks came, straight men that were with the fight, Um, anybody who was basically not a straight white man had teeth in the game. They had some skin in the game, and a lot of people came out, whether or not they, were on the side of fighting for gay rights in particular. It was like we're fighting against the system and somebody has a stronghold. And I just thought that was awesome. That was an awesome time in history. And should be studied. I didn't know about it, and I feel like I should have known about that. That was a very pivotal, important moment in history that I'm just now learning in grad school. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's it. I'll thank you.